Hello and welcome back to part three, session two. I take it is probably what we call it now, of Cyberpunk Red on solo play. Just a little recap of what's been happening so far. So we had our fixer wish list had got a job from a food truck guy that basically wanted his food truck reclaimed. It had been stolen. So he needs to go and track it down. It turns out that because he got in the way of a race a couple of nights ago, this gang has basically stolen it, and we're going to kind of renovate it, use it, or whatever, just rip it for parts. And Wishlist was tasked with the other gang that was in the race to basically go and reclaim it for him and reclaim the car that they were supposed to have taken as well as payment, um, and basically in exchange for the information of where everything was going to be. So Rev, our tech friend, joined up with Wishlist and basically drove to the location, kind of spotted it out for a little bit, and it turns out that there were some nomads there, and the nomads broke into the area, gunned down with crossbows all of the guys that were inside, um, tried to reclaim a car they were after, and it didn't work because that drove off. So the nomads drove off in that car, or some of the nomads drove in that car. And unfortunately, because there was other cars that needed taking, they tried to start up the car that had should have been one in the bet. That was the damaged car. That didn't start, so left that behind. So instead, they took the the food truck, which means that our crew now has nomads to deal with rather than gang members. So we need to basically figure out what's going on from there. Another thing, just as a matter of interest, last session when we had the combat, I was completely bewildered how both the nomads and the gang members somehow had maximum rankings in firearms. It turns out that there is a very, very important piece of text on those NPCs that basically says that all of the skills are including the stat bonuses as well, which makes more sense because they had a ref of 6 and then like a gun combat of whatever of 10. So that makes sense. Now they've now got full gun combat. That's fine. So yeah, so didn't really matter in the long run because obviously they were all using the same kind of rules. It just a matter of hits and taking each other out. So that was fine. They were both using that. But in the future, obviously, we'll use the proper rules. That would kind of make sense. Um, so yeah, so we've kind of got a situation now where we need to find out where the nomads are going for um, two reasons. Obviously, the first group of nomads are following the car they want, which is not the car the crew want. The second group of nomads, though, got into the vehicle. Now, obviously, they're going to either go after the car or they're going to take that back to their um, hideout location, whatever. So I think it's probably what we should do is do a 50-50 on that and see what we can do. So 50-50 is 1d100 and we've got a, let's see that. So can we actually see dice? That'd be nice to actually see the dice when we did it. Let me put that in there so I don't lose that page. So 1d100, 50% likely to go straight home, 50% likely to help in the pursuit of the car thereafter. Blue first, 23. No with complication. Okay, that's interesting. So, no with complication means, obviously, they are going to do something else instead. So let's say, okay, no with complication. No with complication. The cops aren't putting up a roadblocks, but they are increased with patrol presence. Better watch. Okay, so that's right. So either they're going to go, they're not going to take it straight back, but they're going to pursue the guy. Maybe they will effectively run it ragged. It's not something they need. Um, so maybe they're going to use it as a barricade or whatever. It's not going to be as fast as the probably the car they're after. So maybe they're going to try and tactically drive it around and actually see if they can throw it across the road or basically just use it as a battering ram to smash into this car and stop it from running. Um, because they're not really interested in this car apart from parts, if at all. So there's that one. So our fixer is obviously going to follow them now, because obviously they're going to be heading in roughly the same direction. So they're not going to need to know where they're hauled up, but they are going to need to find out where they're actually going to take this food truck as it goes in pursuit of the missing vehicle. Meanwhile, we had our tech had about an hour. I think it was about an hour, 30 minutes. I can't remember what it was now. I think it's 30 minutes to repair the vehicle, because it was only minor damage. They didn't have to worry too much about it. So she's going to do that. And I suppose we have to kind of decide what's going to happen, how long this pursuit's going to be, because she's either going to take it straight back to the booster gang chaps that asked for the car in the first place, or she's going to follow on with Wishlist and figure out what's going on there. So I suppose we could do that. So I think what we need to do is we go to another beat in the beat chart. We roll on here to figure out if we've got a complication or a cliffhanger. And I can't remember what it is. I think it's 96 is. I think it's odd and even, isn't it? So we'll say odd for a cliffhanger, and even for developments. So odd and even. So it's an odd. It's a cliffhanger. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got Red Blue first. 43. We have a contest. So we need the core rulebook on page 400, and we will see what an actual contest is going to be and see what happens next. Okay, so contest is on page 400 of the core rulebook. Oh, you were going to do that, you annoying get. Right, so yep. Try and get it into shot. There we go, just about. Contest is a type of ritualized confrontation in which one side wins and one side loses. Contest should involve riddles, feats of strength, feat of memory, and cleverness, or any other type of one-on-one competition. You may not use Game Master Fiat to allow the NPC to win this contest. It's good down to role play and roles. Okay, well, it's obviously what's going to happen, isn't it? So, try and move that book. Oh dear, too many books and not enough table space. So, this is going to be a situation. So, in the time that it takes Rev to repair the car, Wishlist follows the nomads around and basically waits for them to see what they're doing. By the time he actually catches up with them and kind of figures out what's going on, Dave drove the wagon across the road, got into the path of the booster gang, and used their car to either bang into it, and so they're in the process of basically driving this car and seeing what's going on. So as they're kind of he observes and waits for a little bit longer and see what's happening. Rev pulls up in the stolen car um, after a quick phone call on the agents to basically figure out where the hell everybody is, and eventually they track themselves back down, and they all kind of convene on the same location. We get near to the edge of kind of the city now, and it's getting a little bit more thinner in traffic and all this kind of stuff. So as they get there, they kind of like see what's going on. The booster guy's either knocked unconscious or shot or whatever it is, and our nomads start kind of looking over the vehicle that they've just banged into and start just checking it out. And our crew decide that that's the time they should probably introduce themselves and see if they could do something, make sure they can get this wagon back. So let's see, we've got our two heroes here somewhere. Whoop. We have, and it's the one that's our life path. Okay, let's go focus on wish list for now. Okay, so he has persuasion of 11. Okay, so we're gonna see if they can Just talk to these chaps. We get an 8. That's 19. That's good. Now, so 15's going to. So they get kind of get the car and put their hands up and just go. Yep, okay. We don't want we don't want any hassle. It's fine. You carry on what you're doing. It's all good. We do have a problem though. That wagon you stole from us, or stole even, not from us. That wagon you stole, we kind of need it. I've got a client that that's looking to take it back and needs paying. With his little bit of persuasion, we're pretty good, Archie. They kind of look at each other, and I will say, for the sake of getting to the cliff, not the development even of what we rolled, is they see Rev, and one of kind of the nomads goes, "Do we know you? You're Rev, aren't you?" And she go, "Yeah," because she didn't recognise them originally. So it's like, well, we know of you by reputation. You helped those nomads out on the edge of the city. She goes, yeah, do that, do that, do that. So, right, okay, well, you know, we'd hoping to make some kind of contact with you in the future. But yeah, this is probably a good place as any to start talking about it. So you need this truck, and they go, yeah, okay. So I think the idea is only fair is, it was these booster gangs are doing this road race and whatever. Maybe we sort out a road race between us. You got that fancy car there, and he kind of looks over Rev's shoulder and sees the one that they have. They're supposed to take back to the booster gang. We've got our car here. Maybe we compete a little bit and see who wins, and whoever wins gets to keep the truck. I think that seems fair. I mean, again, not to us, it's probably not that great. He kind of looks it over and says, the suspension shot, and didn't start particularly quickly, and it's got the space in it could be probably good for a little living quarters, but as a something that's actually going to travel in distance at a considerable rate, I mean, it's hardly worth the bother. We could probably strip it down for parts, but I mean, it's a lot of time and effort to do, and I can see you're in a bit of bother, and maybe us ingratiating ourselves with you mean that in the future you can probably do us a couple of favours. And Rev's going, oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, if you need anything, just give me a call, and then we can sort something out for you. It'll be fine. I do, you know, check repairs and upgrades, and oh yeah, we know you well. Don't worry, yeah, we've heard your stuff going on. Um, so I suppose in a proper game, main game, without a randomness of what we're using here, that would probably be a reputation check to see if they actually know who Rev is. That would make sense. But for the sake of this narrative, we will say yes, they do, because that's how we move the story forward. So, um, so they go, okay, right. So what we do is, and as kind of doing that, the kind of the punk that has got in the car, kind of lurches his head above the steering wheel, and then promptly gets punched again in the face and knocked unconscious as and slumps to the ground. Um, so we get rid of this guy. We take the car. What say we meet out on the edge of the city in like a couple of days' time, so we can get this thing back up to scratch. Unfortunately, we dented it a little bit. Um, and we have a road race and see who actually can pull this thing off. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. That'd be fantastic. Great. Um, so we'll kind of leave you at it then. You just carry on what you're doing now, and we'll see you in a couple of days on the edge of the city, and they kind of basically organise a location to go. Now, according to the Cyberpunk map, there's like a little what is it out? I can put this called now, but there's a nomad camp on the edge of the city. It's number 36 on the map, so we're going to go there, or at least near there. We'll go somewhere near there, and we'll meet you there in 3 days' time. I was like, oh, fine, great. Okay, cool. So they do that. So Rev and Wishlist get into the cars they came in, and just kind of toodle off to where they back towards Wishlist's apartment, and we leave it at that. So I think what we need to do is now Rev will say, right, what we'll do is we're going to take this car back to my garage. I will repair it, make sure it's up and running. Also, that gets out of sight from those boosters. If they see this thing kind of driving around in the area, they're more likely to think that you've kind of done them over, and you'll steal it for yourself. So let's just keep it on the out of sight for now, and we'll figure out what's going on. Um, so that seems fair. So yeah, that's great, okay. So again, maybe I think that's another role. So get rid of the character sheets. We go to here. We go to the 50/50 location doodah thingy. So during their journey back to wish lists and the journey away from there to Rev's garage, does anybody see it that knows it belongs to that gang, or at least recognises it as being the gang thing, and then the kind of information gets back to the gang that wanted to acquire it? So 50/50, blue first, 27, no with complications. So nobody sees it, but someone sees it. The complications is got to be someone's got to have at least seen it. So no one that actually is in contact with that gang actually knows what's going on. But obviously, if they start nosing around and asking questions, there's a good chance that that might come through. So what we'll say is, for the sake of again, kind of tying it all together, is that when we first started this adventure, Wishlist went out and spoke to that scaver chap who was looking around the area in Brandon Marina area, and that's how the information got back to that gang. So let's just say, as it drives by, the same scav that he spoke to sees Rev in it and kind of doesn't exactly clock who she is, and doesn't realise that she's allied with Wishlist at this point in time. But maybe if they're taking a little bit too long to return it, or if the gang members ask, you know, around, he's obviously some kind of contact to them at some point. Maybe if they ask that, then that information might turn up and be, yeah, well, yeah, they would definitely see it, and they weren't taking it where you said to take it. They were taking it somewhere else. So that's to kind of leave that as kind of like a dangling possible plot hook for later on if we need some kind of third party interference. So yeah, so that's what we'll do. So um, Rev's going to go off and repair this thing, and again with her skills, it's only going to be minor repairs. It's going to take over the course of 3 days. She's got enough spares. She can kind of get this thing back up to kind of fighting fit. Now the question being is, can she do anything to actually make it better than it is? Because obviously these things must be quite evenly matched, because obviously they were racing against each other um, previously, so they've got to be some kind of evenness about them. So maybe see if you can actually kind of either jury rig it, or kind of just get it to fire a little bit faster than it was. So let's have a quick look at the rules for that and see if we can find something going on. Okay, so according to the core rulebook, we have to make a roll for tech. We have 2 expertises we're supposed to take, which I forgot to do. So we'll have field expertise, and of course, probably more importantly, is upgrade expertise. So upgrade expertise allows us to get one upgrade from the specialty, and upgrade a vehicle with an upgrade that only requires a Nomad rank 1 of ability of rank 1. So going to Nomad, which I think is 161. We have abilities we can add to the car here. So we don't need armor, we don't need bow cost, we don't need communications. We have Nox here, which is a burst of power when you need it, which seems pretty good. We don't need onboard flamethrowers, onboard machine guns, seating upgrades, all that kind of stuff. Nox is a rank 1 ability, so that might be what we do, unless there is heavy chassis, heavy vehicle, heavy weapon mount, no. Onboard melee weapon, no. Hover upgrade, no. Combat plow, bikes, ground cars, deployable spike strip. It's got to be Nox, isn't it? So over the next 3 days, she is going to try and put this nitrous oxide into this car, and actually see if she can actually improve it that way. Now, obviously, our Nomad friends are probably doing something very similar where they are. To upgrade an item, you must roll a tech plus the tech skill of the item you are typically repairing, plus your rank, and especially plus 1d10. Um, Purchase materials. Right. So okay, so it's vehicle tech plus your ranking, especially with plus 1 for plus 1 to 10. Um, where are we? Vehicle upgrades, which are treated the one exception being vehicle upgrades, which is what's treated as being very expensive. So 2 weeks, 20 what? 2 weeks? 2 weeks to put Nox in it? Okay, well maybe we've not got time to do that then. That seems a bit crazy. 1 hour, cheap, costly, 6 hours, 1 day, 1 week. It's premium. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can't do that then. So we can't upgrade it for Nox, and obviously they can't upgrade it for Nox. They haven't got the time to do it either. So it would appear. I think I'll double check this, but it would appear that we haven't got the time to add anything to it. It's just going to be a straightforward race. So I think what I need to do now is look up some car stats and kind of write some, just check out the Nomad's kind of drive skills and all this kind of stuff. Put them on a bit of paper so we can compare, and we will do effectively. We'll run through a chase effectively. I don't think there's a racing thing in here, so we'll kind of do a chase and just basically make some checks and see what the outcome of this race is, and hopefully we will find that either Rev or Wishlist, I can't remember who's got the better vehicle skill. I think it is Rev, but I could be wrong. See how they manage to race against these Nomads. So yeah, so we'll skip forward a couple of days. Um, uh, Wishlist will put out a call to the guy who owns the wagon and say, "Yep, we're still on it. We found it. We've seen it. Unfortunately, it slipped through our fingers, but we have got another way of possibly doing something about it. So give us a few more days or so, and hopefully we're back to you. We're trying to kind of win it back from these Nomads, and that's what's going to happen. So the guy kind of begrudgingly shrugs and says, "Okay, it's getting to be, money's being lost here. I'm starting to find that, my sales have gone down. I've lost 4 days probably by now of sales. It can't go longer than a week. I need this back by the end of the week. The end of the week is kind of otherwise, it's going to be probably worth my while to either move on, do something different, or even pick up another vehicle and kind of work from there and go from there. So yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's all sorted out. It's all sorted out. Um, so yeah, so we'll skip forward a couple of days. I'll stat these vehicles out, and then we'll come back to that, and we will run through the race. So okay, okay. So a few days later, the nomads and the crew meet up. The nomads, or at least the nomads' accomplices, have effectively laid out a track in the desert. The people that are driving the car have no idea what the track is. They'll be surprised at everybody else. And so we're trying to make this as fair as possible. They kind of explain it. They've got some, Rev has got a rep with these people, at least, some kind of knowledge that she exists, and she does favors for other nomads. So they're kind of treating her a little bit, more politely than they probably would anywhere else. So what I've done here is extrapolating the combat rules from the core rulebook and the chase rules from the free downloads. We're effectively going to have a race here. There's nothing about crashing. There's about ramming. There's nothing about losing control. It basically says if you lose control, the GM gets to decide. So, situation is this: we've got swerves, we've got sharp turns, which I didn't realise were exactly the same difficulty value until I put them in it, and then in a jump. I've added +2 to those difficulty values purely for the fact of our drivers have enough skill to beat those without making a roll. The Nomads needed a 1, Rev didn't need anything at all. So I've upped those in the understanding that because they're out in the desert, they're not on a proper road. Stuff's going to slide around a lot more. These are not vehicles that are made for being outside of kind of like city vehicles and all this kind of stuff as well. So what we'll do is we're going to roll 1d6 at the beginning of the round. We have 12 rounds. If we get a 1, we roll an encounter. If we don't get a 1, the people can make a chance to try and pull forward with a difficulty value of 17, or they can try one of the other movers, which is ram or pit maneuver. Now, at the moment, it's fair play. So let's get the single player mode and see if the nomads intend to keep that up. Okay, give me. So we've got here. Yeah, is it likely or is it certain? Uh, so I think because we had that kind of standoff, we're going to say it's certain, but obviously that doesn't necessarily guarantee it. So red dice first. 32 is a yes with complications. Okay. So I'm going to say then, if it looks like they're losing by a considerable amount, maybe this nomad who's driving this car is going to be pushed over the edge and he's probably going to try and make a ram maneuver or something else is going to happen. We shall see as we go along. But yeah. So wishlist is going to be in the car with Rev as well, just in case. Obviously armed as normal. There's going to be a co-pilot in the car with the nomad as well. They get out on against the starting line. Cars are revving. You know, there's the lass on the side of the road. The road is kind of ready to drop the flag, ready to go. Flag goes down. Both cars starting up. Off they go. Take a kind of a sliding start and they disappear over the next kind of hill. So right. So first things first. Let's go and see if we've got a encounter. We have not. So a 17 is needed to pull ahead by 1 point, which means a 3 or more on Rev's roll, or a 5 or more on the red roll, and we'll keep this. So Rev is going to be the blue, Nomad is going to be the red. Okay, they both pull forward 1. So first round, no result. Okay, second round, we get a 1, we get an encounter. We get a 2, we get a swerve. So this round, they are going to make a drive check. So 3 or more for the Nomad, and one or more for. Okay, they both succeed. So they don't move forward, but if they fail, I'm going to say they basically lose ground and they're going to be pushed back 1 square. Okay, so that was a 2. Okay, actually right with the right hand, that might be handy. Next round, we get a 6, nothing there. So 17, 17. So red is those 4, 18. Yep, so they move forward again. So we've got no encounter. We are now neck and neck still. Next round, nope. 5 more, yes. Yes. We are put neck and neck still as we go. Right, so I'm going to run out of bits in a minute. Encounter. No, right. 14, that is a not pulling forward. 15, that is a, so 16, that's not pulling forward. We are neck and neck. We have no movement this round. Nope. 17 and a 9, pull forward. They both neck and neck again. Encounter. 5, a tight, a sharp turn. So, 3 or more. Yes. Yes. No improvement. That's a turn. Okay, so that was a 5. Next round. Nope. That is, yep, 18. Yep, so we're putting forward again. Right, we're getting dangerously close to the end of the race at the moment. They are neck and neck as we go in. So I think the last 3, we're going to see what's going to happen. So, encounter. We get a 1. We get a sharp turn. So 3 or more for the red. Yep. And yep. So they don't move again. So we get a 1. Next round. Nothing on that one. 15. Blue is forward by a spot. Okay. So that is that out of the way. We've got 2 to go. Right, so I'm going to say now is our seeing as we've got 2, we're literally coming to the end of the race. They can probably, as they kind of going shooting all around the kind of this laid out map things, they've got various pieces of scrap and all this kind of stuff on the ground as well. They're taking these sharp turns, they're taking these skids and all this kind of stuff as well. They can see the finish line in sight. The Nomad's car is kind of just slightly behind the car of Rev. He's gonna have to. He's right. I'm gonna have to do it. He's gonna have to try it. So this round we're gonna have the Nomad make a check to see if they can actually ram, which is 17. So that's a 5 or more. We get a ram. Okay. So they could do 66 damage. I think they take the same amount of damage. Let's have a look, see what the SDC is for car. Okay, so the rules, this seem a little bit odd. So the SDC for each car is 50 on each one. And a ram does 66 damage. That seems incredibly dangerous. But if that's what the rules say, we'll do that. So we roll this 3d6 twice for the first car. So red car is car number 1. It takes 2, 6, 10, 15, 17 damage. So that puts it down to 33. And then our hero's car. Oh God, okay. 15, 20, 24, 27 puts it down to 23. Okay, and we're going to have a control check for this one to see if it's one. So let's see if we have. We'll go to 17 again as well. So this car, so the Noma car smashes into the back of the hero's car. Rev manages to keep the car under control with 17. We've got 2 more rounds to go before we actually kind of get to the end of it. Now they're kind of a bit pissed at him, basically saying, "Okay, this is getting crazy." So Wishlist kind of like undoes his jacket and makes sure his pistols to hand, just in case it gets nasty at the end of the match, kind of thing. So we need a 17 or more. That would be 16 for. Oh no, sorry, that is 17. 18 for Rev. And yep, that's successful. We are 1, 2. And would you believe it? I've slightly misjudged my map. So let's put back 1. There you go. And then this one is going to be D6. Nope. Success. Yeah. And a failure. They come to the end of the thing. They drop back a position. So maybe something with the Nomad's car just kind of like makes it a little bit too dangerous. They, maybe they hit a pile or something, and it just kind of throws them off. Next round, they cross the finish line. The Nomads are a couple of kind of seconds back beyond the thing. They kind of do a little bit of a slide in, Akira slide as best you can in a car as they come to a stop over the on the desert floor. And it's like, right, Wish this gets out. Everyone else is kind of waiting at the finish line and said, well, there you go, we've won it. Wish you changed us to a race to get back the food truck. We beat you fair and square. So we take this car back to um, the people we need to take it to, but you make the food truck available. And Nomad's like, yeah, cool, okay, that's fine. So food truck comes bombling over the horizon and kind of pulls up beside them. Wish this still kind of like looking over him, and Rev will kind of go out and start talking to Nomads, and the Nomads probably having a bit of a fit about losing. So she'll go like, okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll fix that car. You obviously did some damage to the car. We have to do something about this one anyway. I'll fix your car. You bring it to me, the garage. You know where I am. I'll fix your car free of charge, no problem at all. You need any other help? You let me know. You need parts, whatever. You come back to me and we'll sort it out. So the Nomads would be like, okay, that's fact. I mean, great. You played by the rules, and kind of give the other Nomad kind of the evils for risking the kind of ramming into the other one. But great, that's fantastic. So we'll put that as contact for Rev, and with that, they can kind of make their way off with the food truck and the car. they'll take the food truck back first of all. Obviously making their way back into the city. Food truck goes back to our employer, which I can't remember his name at the top of my head. Let me check. Felix Miller, that's the guy's name. So yeah, so they take the food truck back to Miller, and hey man, we did the best. It's like, okay, yeah, it took a little bit longer. We needed to do so, but and Miller's gonna be happy, and the Eurobucks come out, and he starts giving the grand he owed him for the privilege. You need anything, lunch is on me. Next 6 months, lunch is on me. That's fantastic. You've done me the ultimate favour. Said I couldn't do without this. So it's cool. That's fine. So with that paid off, the other ones that they need to take it kind of back to Rev's um, garage to kind of get at least a little bit of a tidying up. So probably not a full repair, because obviously although these guys want their car back, the idea that it comes back perfect. I mean, it already took a bit of a dent anyway, so they'll drive up to the rendezvous point where we were last time and where we were told to, and we will have it that our people are waiting for us. And we also decided, obviously, last time and the last little bit, that the information was out there that the car was being driven around a little bit, and it wasn't going straight back to um, the gangs. So let's see what the situation with this. 76, 50, 50. Okay, that's fine. So they are going to honour their agreement. So they drive up to the this kind of the meeting point, which is probably some kind of little, behind some stores or something or other. Pull the car up. And, hey, yeah, okay, guys, yeah, see, yeah, told you. Information you gave us was good. Even didn't have to deal with them. We got some nomads that deal with that, but boost gangs is like, oh, you got the car, fantastic, man. Yeah, we can still rip this apart and set it for parts or do our own thing. Okay, that's cool. But probably not going to be a contact, but maybe if they run into this gang in the future, we might get at least a nod of recognition, and maybe we're causing a hassle. But at the minute, a quick shake of hands, and the car drives, and they take the car away, and you get back in Rev's car, and off they return back to the thing. So yeah, Rev is happy. And wish list is kind of like, oh, thank God, I've got rent this month. Although we are quite early in the day, it's only taken a couple of days, so we were kind of early in the month. So obviously, there's ample time to try and find another, something going on in town. So we probably need to look into something else we can make some money on. So yeah, that's probably a good idea. So with that, I would say what we're going to do now, we'll wrap up this session for now. Next session, we will make a new job for these people. Maybe we get some of the other NPCs involved. I did say about making the solo, but obviously that's needed if they actually turn up, and it depends what job we get. But I would say this one is kind of wrapped up, at least to the conclusion that everyone kind of got what they wanted to. We made some friends with the nomads. Nobody died, apart from some road gangers, but that's not to worry about. There were nothing to do with them. And Rev and Wishlist didn't even fire a single shot. They were fine, so that's good. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think that's all for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another one of these or any of my other videos very, very soon. Bye bye.